Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I say that because I have no idea when you're going to be watching this video, so I want to cover all bases. But my name is Mike, my channel is MDH5169. Thanks for checking out this video. Today, we're going to talk about a 1967 Chevelle Super Sport, and not just any Chevelle Super Sport, but actually my Chevelle Super Sport. Now, what is so significant about this car? And usually I start out with the specs on the car and things like that, a little history, but I'm going to actually start out and tell you guys why this car is so significant to me. Now, if you guys will remember, a few months back I did a video on my 1965 Chevy C10 pickup, which is sitting over there next to the Prowler. And if you haven't seen the video, you need to check out the video. It's a good video. But if you haven't seen the video, I'll catch you guys up to speed. That truck was actually bought by my dad and my mom in 1965. They'd been married about a year at that point, and they went down to Smith Chevrolet here in Turlock, bought the truck, and my dad had it until 1985, then I got it, and so on and so forth. Lots of history, lots of story behind that one. So for more, go check out that video. Anyway, 2 years later, my parents wanted to buy another car. My mom had a 58 Chevy. She didn't want that anymore, so they decided to get a car, and this 67 Chevelle was what they ended up getting. Now, not specifically this 67 Chevelle. It was actually this 67 Chevelle. That is a picture of the car, my mom's actual car, when it was brand new. So, you know, I guess it was probably around 78 or 79, my mom decided she wanted something a little more modern. She and my dad had just divorced, and so she was looking for something just a little more modern. So she ended up selling this car, and she bought, I believe it was a 78 or 79 El Camino, 6-cylinder. I mean, at the time it was kind of cool because it had air conditioning, and we didn't have air conditioning in the Chevelle. So to me, I thought at 19 years old, that was really pretty cool. However, if I knew then what I know now, I would have actually hidden the Chevelle from my mom and never allowed her to sell it, because let's face it, they've only went up in value, and they're just cool cars. I mean, come on. Seriously, 79 El Camino versus that? But live and learn. So subsequently, having my dad's truck, over the years, I said I would like to have another 67 Chevelle. Didn't really matter to me whether or not it was a Malibu or Super Sport. I wasn't really that concerned. I just wanted a 67 Chevelle, kind of in honor of my mom. And if I figured if I could have my dad's truck, I could have as close as I could get to my mom's car. So I looked at a couple over the years. I remember driving a Malibu. I actually owned a 67 wagon. That was pretty cool, and I'll do a video maybe down the road on some of the cooler cars that I've owned, because I've owned about 50 or 60 cars in my time, so I'll do a video down the road on that. But I don't know, it wasn't it. So I sold the 67 wagon, and I just happened to be looking on Craigslist maybe a year and a half ago or so, and I see this car, and I'm like, wow, it's Marina Blue. Wow, it's got blue interior, it's a Super Sport, and it is a true Super Sport, a true 138 VIN, and it's a 4-speed. How cool is that? So everything that my mom's car was sitting right there, 2 hours away for sale. So Krista, my wife, and I got in the car. We drove to meet this guy, and I think he was asking somewhere in the mid-30s, 34, 35,000, somewhere in that area. And I told myself I'm not going to go more than 30. That's it. I'm not going to spend any more than that. Well, couldn't get him down any lower than 31.5. And so after him and hawing for a little while, and I admit I did him and haw, I ended up buying the car and driving it home. Obviously it's here. It is a great car. It's a good running car. It sounds good. Not particularly fast compared to some of the other vehicles, but it doesn't matter. It sounds good. I mean, it sounds like a big block Chevy should sound. It runs good. It shifts good. It brakes good. My only complaint really would be the gearing. The rear end gearing is really a little bit low. I think it's 373s, which I thought would be fine with the 4-speed, but going down the freeway at 60, 65 miles an hour is about the best you want to do, or you're using just a lot of the motor. So let's pop the hood real quick. There it is, 396 in all its glory. The guy that I bought it off of told me that it is not a numbers matching car, that this motor is actually out of something else, but it's period correct. He said the motor had been warmed up a little bit, a few things done to it. I don't really know the specifics. It pulls pretty strong. It's a very torquey motor. Like I said, very low geared. I think it would improve it to maybe go with some 330s in the rear. I'd like to try that at some point in time just to see, make it a little bit more drivable, but we'll see what happens. If I don't like it, I can always go back to the 373s, not a big deal. Now, something a lot of people don't know about the 396 is that the 396, the 400, and the 402 are all the same motor, same bore, same stroke, same setup, and everything like that. It just depends on what Chevy put them in as to what they called it. The Chevelle and the Camaro and the Corvette, it was a 396. If it went into their trucks, it was a 400 or 402, but same motor. And in 67, I mean, you could get the Super Sport certainly, but you could get the Malibu, you could get the wagon, you could get the 6-cylinder, you get 4-door. But when you got the 396 came in 3 different versions. You got a 325 horse, a 350 horse, and a 375 horse. As to if there was any difference really in actual horsepower in those motors, I don't know. Maybe someone could chime in and tell me, but I don't remember what my parents had, if it was a 325, 350, or 375 horse. So let's walk around this side. We'll kind of do a little walk around the outside of the car. It's definitely not a show car. You can see if you look at the hood, it's got a little fitment issues, and that's after doing some adjusting and tweaking on it. Same thing with the trunk. You know, it's got a few scratches and things like that. It's definitely not a show car, but it's a nice driver quality car, and that's what I basically have. That's what I like. I love the stance on it. I think it's got a really nice stance. I do like the fact it's got the bigger tires in back than in front, but the rims are the same size, and I really wish that the back rims were a little deeper offset than the front. I think that would look much better. Something I've considered doing is maybe putting some more modern rims on it, maybe going to some 17s or doing something different. But at this point in time, you know, it's not a real big priority or a necessity for me. So we'll take a little look inside, and you guys can see the interior, as I take it, is pretty much original based on the wear that I'm seeing on the seats and kind of the stains and marks and stuff like that. Headliner, I think all is pretty much original with the exception of the carpeting. He did tell me he did new carpeting on it, but you can see the big huge steering wheel with the SS logo in the center. It does have the aftermarket tack on it, and then it's got the turn signal indicator in there because the tack ends up blocking this turn signal indicator. All the gauges work. Slide right in here. Even the clock works in, is keeping pretty good time actually. Basically this is for the most part identical to my mom's car. The only thing that's different and that my mom didn't like on this car is the shifter. It's got this shifter, and she had the shifter where you use the 2 fingers to pull the button up and put it into reverse. She likes that much better. But I was gonna say, when I want to come around to the passenger side, because I thought it would be here, but it's not. But it's funny the things that you remember. Like as a kid, I remember the door seals, and I remember right here in this little plate right here, it said "Body by Fisher." And I don't know, it's just something that always stuck in my head. But it's amazing that even the sound of the door closing, that is the exact sound that I remember of my mom's car closing. I mean, it's the same sound, same car, obviously, so same sound. And it's just amazing to me, like the memories it brings back. And that's what's kind of cool about vehicles. It's really the memories that it brings back and the thoughts that it provokes and the way it makes you feel. And that's why we love cars. I mean, they do that for us, for, you know, true car people. So with that, I think it's time that we get behind the wheel, we take the car for a little spin, and wrap up the video.
Like I said, very low geared, so you get through the gears pretty fast. Kind of screams anything above, like we're doing like 35 right now, so, and we're tacking like 1800 RPM, so not really good freeway car. But still sounds cool, still fun. I actually have 2 memories that really stick out in this car. And of course not this car, but my mom's car. So the one memory that I have is, it was my dad driving. I think my mom was in the back seat with me and my grandmother. And we were going either to Oklahoma or coming back from Oklahoma, but I'm pretty sure we were in Arizona. And I remember remember sitting in the back seat, and I looked back and I said, Dad, there's flashing lights behind you. Yes, Dad got pulled over, he was speeding. And I remember him coming back after talking to the cop and asking everybody, okay, how much money do we have? Because back then, you paid for your ticket right there. So, and the other memory I have is I went to Sunday school. My Sunday school teacher was taking me home, and she pulled up to a stop sign, and my mom wouldn't sit by in this car. And I said, oh, there goes my mom. And my Sunday school teacher said, oh, you think we can catch her? I looked at her very seriously and said, no. And I was probably, 7 or 8 years old at that point, maybe younger. Right there it's like 50, and we're talking like 2,500 RPM. So it needs more gear. I mean, for running around here, I guess it's not so bad, but if I want to take it anywhere, it needs more gear. Throttle response, but it's like you would expect an old car to be driving it. It tends to use its share of the road. The shifting is very mechanical. It's a long throw shifter, so the clutch is very mechanical. It's got power steering. The brakes are good. I think it's just manual brakes. Obviously, I have too many cars when I don't really know the braking system on my vehicle, but it is what it is. But it's a very sentimental car. It brings back a lot of memories. It's not real smooth. But it just has that snap. It's just impressive. That's something I don't have in any other car. Even the faster ones, the Corvette, that type of thing. She's just got that torque and that grunt. That was probably about 85 miles an hour. Not a fast car in the same distance. Like, for example, my Corvette would have been about 100 and 105. So, and I see we have visitors. Eddie the mechanic. I think he stalks me. I really do. Eddie, you're stalking me. Alright guys, so Eddie just needed to talk to me real quick. He's working on the Impala, as you guys know, so got a lot going on with that, so he wanted to just kind of catch me up to date. He usually stops by after he's been working over at the workshop and comes by and gives me an update. So anyway, so back at the house, just quick drive, put some gas in it. It's running good, running strong. I guess it's a fun car, and for me this car just brings back a lot of memories, and that's, like I said, that's what it's all about. This is definitely a car I plan to keep. I've got a few that just I don't want to sell. I don't want to get rid of. I plan to keep them, and this is one of them. So if you like the video, guys, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. If you're stopping in for the first time, just having to wander across this video, check out my other videos. This is what I do. I got all these cars, and like I said, I got friends' cars and a lot of stuff, automotive stuff. Subscribe, like. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, MDH5169. I'll put all the information down below. And also I put my P.O. box in there just in case you guys want to send me a card or note or letter or something cool or whatever. As long as it doesn't explode, I'm totally cool with it. I'll even, I'll feature it here in a video if you do. So with that, take care. God bless. Have an amazing day. morning, night, afternoon, whatever, whenever you're watching. Have an amazing one.